I
the
mean,
psychological understanding that you've been cheated in this sort of Ponzi scheme will come 4 generations away,
yeah, yeah.
just like
Oh,
with the slave and the
we have a biblical basis for that. The
okay.
sins that cry out to heaven,
Mm.
oppression of wages, right? So we already know that one of the 4 sins that cry out to heaven for vengeance has to do with money. For people, have to do with money, have to do with the oppression,
What are the
the
4? What are the
abuse.
4?
Um,
I put you on the spot, but that's one of them.
yeah, blasphemy, that one. I actually, first off, I'm not recalling. I know one's sodomy. I know one's oppression of wages. I know one. I'm not sure. So I don't know.
Mhm. We'll
People
have
could
to
look up. People
we'll
could
have to
look up
research.
the other 2.
Yeah.
But
The 4 sins that cry out for vengeance.
cry out to heaven for vengeance. That's
I'll look it up
scripture.
while
That's
you're
scriptural.
going. Keep going.
Yeah, yeah. And so what I'm getting at is that there is something to the mathematics of pooling these things to be able to help more people get coverage. What that doesn't account for is then right once you have that system in place, that's going to be a benefit to the majority of people. But now once that benefit becomes the sort of status quo, right? Then it's going to be elevated to a new level of problem when they now start
Oh,
negotiating
wow.
on
This is
account of that.
wild.
Okay, go ahead. Or
Will the sins that cry out to heaven for vengeance, willful willful murder,
okay.
unnatural sex acts, sodomy,
Yeah.
oppression of the poor, typically expressed as widows and orphans. I don't know where that info war came from, but defrauding the laborer of his wages.
Yeah.
So those are the
Is the third and fourth defrauding the labor.
defrauding the
Yeah,
labor
yeah.
of
So
his
there's 2 of
wages.
them.
Yeah.
Oppression of the poor and defrauding them of their wages.
Yeah, willful murder, unnatural sex acts,
Yep.
oppression of the poor, and defrauding the labor of his wages.
Yeah, which by
Which
the
makes
way,
a great
systematically systematically maps onto it. Crime against person, which is murder. Crime against one who belongs to a person rightfully, which is a spouse, which is unnatural sex acts, either the current spouse or the future spouse of someone,
Mhm.
right? So it's a fundamental crime against them. That's why the 6th commandment is you shall not commit adultery.
Mhm.
You shall not commit murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal, because now we have to deal with property. And so there they deal with both forms of property, the oppression of the poor in general, and then defrauding them of their wages, their transaction of labor.
Makes a great case for Karl Marx, which stumps me in the deepest way. Of course, a Karl Marx would use a biblical basis for the stratification of
Yeah, yeah, communism. Because of course,
to go at Christ and God and basically reject Christianity altogether. And there's always a
yeah,
little bit
yeah.
of truth to a good scam always has a little truth to it.
And a little truth, it might even have a lot of truth.
lot of
it's gonna
truth,
it's gonna
yeah.
really throw a wrench into things
Mhm.
because it's gonna be so laden with truth that not only that, it's gonna confuse people for generations to come. You're gonna have people take counter position because there's something so off in it. They're gonna take a visceral, rash counter position that throws the baby out with the bathwater.
Mhm.
And this is where we're at. I mean, this is modern politics, right? We've talked about that. Conservatism, liberalism. Liberalism's driving the game, and conservatism is playing lackey, whipping boy
Mhm.
for liberals, because they end up taking so many counter positions that are like, dude, are you dumb?
Yeah.
You have no foresight. You've never played chess in your life.
Right.
This is going to screw you in about 10 seconds
Right.
because that position is untenable.
Mhm.
I mean, that's where we saw the collapse of, neoconservatism, sort of popular mainstream conservatism with the rise of Donald Trump, because he's the one who goes, nah, that sounds dumb. Wait, was it? What's the point? They go, well, what about the principle of blah, 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 blah? He goes, what's the principle? They're like, well, it basically boils down to yada, yada, yada. He goes, yeah, that sounds dumb,
Mhm.
right? He's the one going, no. How about no?
Mhm.
And then they're like, well, then you're not conservative. He goes, says who? Says you? Not only that, I think I'm conservative. And actually, I think all the things that are conservative principles, you guys are weak on. So I'm going to go hard on the things that are actual conservative principles.
Right.
Right? So the people aren't going to be confused about that. If you go, well, you're not actually a conservative, they're going to be like, says you?
Mm.
All the things that actually matter to us, he seems to go harder on.
But now
You guys.
now Ron DeSantis is running that on Trump. I don't know if you've been seeing that lately.
No, I haven't seen it at all.
But now Ron DeSantis is trying to outflank Donald Trump to the right and say,
Twinkle toes? Ron DeSantis? Twinkle toes? Got the little cowboy boots on. Yada, yada, yada. He's looking like Betty Sue.
And they said that they actually there were
Twinkle toes?
I don't know. Look,
I've never heard that from anyone. It
I
just
don't
came to mind
I
for
don't
me.
know. Look, I don't know how they were able to verify that he has adjustments in his boots, but that was did you see that?
Yeah. No, I didn't. But
No,
I
wait, wait,
know that
wait.
he does. I know that he does. I know
But
these
you haven't seen that?
No, but I know these people are out here putting wedges in their heels to
No,
get
wait,
taller.
wait. Let me get this right. Did you have you seen the stories where they criticized him? Slide over this way a little bit. Where they criticized him for having platforms in his boots?
No, but I'm saying I already know he does. You didn't have to tell me that for me to know that he does.
Well, I didn't know he did.
I didn't even first off, I didn't hear
I had
about
no clue. When I saw the
this because you're
video,
6'8". I didn't even hear about
I
platforms.
couldn't even.
I didn't hear about platforms in men's shoes till a year and a half ago. I was
Lord,
I was traumatized to say the least. I was like, what?
how many
These
generations?
dudes are out here.
How many generations is it going to take for that to really kick in on the Parker clan?
Yeah. How long until the
Oh.
vengeance is wrought upon the men putting platforms in their shoes? How many distraught women, when they find out the genetics that they just took into their bodies, are giving them little tiny children that they thought were 3 inches taller than they would be?
Listen, when I saw the allegation and they showed the boots, I was in tears. I was crying so hard,
Twinkle toes.
but it made perfect sense. And I always felt like you could look at them. Look, there are people who are strange. Don't get me wrong. There are people who have weird mannerisms. There are
Yes,
people who
yes.
are socially awkward,
Yeah.
who still have sacred honor, who would take a bullet for the right cause, who would die for the faith. But
We can at least say that the probability that they'll have sacred honor decreases a little bit.
yeah, I would
The
say there's a,
probability,
I would
mathematically.
say that there's a correlation between the way you carry yourself and the sacrifices you're willing to make
Yeah.
on
On a regular basis, at
on
least.
principle. Yeah, right.
You know.
And so when I look at Ron DeSantis, I'm like, okay, he did this, and this. I like that. Okay, he stood on that. Okay.
He's got wedges in his boots. Come on, man.
That's it.
Come on,
That's it.
man.
I don't look. Everything else is it's over.
Yeah, what? What are we talking about?
It's over.
Twinkle toes. Come on, man.
It's over. I mean, where can I go from there?